Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well today. I wanted to come in here and get an energy read and see what is coming up for you today. So I'm starting with the Citadel deck, and I'm going to pull a card to see which card most represents you in this reading. All right, Spirit. So what card most represents the collective in this reading? What card most represents the collective? What do they most need to know? What card represents them? Okay. Got the Herald. Small regrets and longing. Okay. Let me get a better look at this. Small regrets and longing. It shows here like a moon and an eye with the teardrop. There's these snakes that are intertwined. And the hair, it's like something got away that you're longing for. And having regrets, I think that's something that we can all relate to. So let me pull a tarot card to see what goes with that. What most represents the collective in this reading? Tell me more about this herald and these small regrets and longing. Oh, you're coming out as the Empress. This is amazing. You're seated in your power. You have regrets because you've come so far in this lifetime. And you're looking back now and thinking, like, how would I have done things differently? Perhaps someone special has been popping up in your mind as well. Because you have a lot of abundance now, and like maybe you wish things could have been different. And you're also like a very creative person, filled with love and beauty. The sign of Venus represents Empress, which is, the goddess of love and beauty. And also too, it's like you're just more connected now. Like maybe some of these regrets and things you had to do with like before you were so connected to the divine and like your spirituality. Like, if you could go back knowing what you know now, then like what would you do differently? But honestly, it's like you can't really try not to regret that too much, because like you wouldn't be the person you are today without the things from your past, right? I mean, all the things, the lessons we learn, and like the character growth, it's like it all makes us who we were today, and like we wouldn't change that for anything, right? Because you're the Empress, and like, so it's like you got it going on, but it's only normal to have. It says longing as well. It's like you're the Empress looking for the Emperor. That could be it too. You're looking for your Emperor, and like it, or wistful longing about some past love connection I'm hearing here. So let's see here. A missed connection. You felt so similar here, but also opposites. And it's like, maybe this one, it's the one that got away energy is what it is. It's the one that got away. So let's see. What does Spirit want to tell you about this? We've got rest and reflection in reverse. It's like you've been thinking about this for such a long time. I feel that it's always been in the back of your mind for some of you. Queen of Pentacles. You have a lot of, abundance, and with the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, so it's like you have like a lot of life to share, a lot to give, a lot of, you have a really nice life that you could share with somebody that you want to share. You got the Moon. And it's like you've been looking like deep within yourself, for reasons that why this went wrong, or why, what you could have done. You're kind of ruminating in your mind, like, but you're going really to the depths to like really like figure out, like, your part in that, and that's noble, it's honorable. But there's actually something you don't see coming with this moon here. It's also, I feel like, a bit of a dreamy quality, a dreamy energy. Like maybe you dream of this person. They show up in your dreams. That's what it is. That's why you can't stop thinking about them. They show up in your dreams, and you're like, what the? And yeah, you're like, what does this mean, you know? But it's also shining a light. It's time to look at that. Like, why do they keep coming up? Maybe this represents something even other than this person, this longing. You know, it doesn't have to be a person, but with Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, I feel that it is. But yeah, I feel like definitely look into your dreams, and there could be something coming up, you know, an unexpected something. It could be like even a phone call if you're like telepathically connected to this person, you know. Sometimes when you think of somebody and then they call you or they send you a message, something like that could be happening this month for you. You got the Devil, so I feel like it's like it's a toxic connection. You know, it was a toxic connection. That's probably why there's these regrets here. You know, it could have focused on there could have been a lot of arguments or tempers, or it could have been focused on addiction or something like that. But here's your Emperor right here. You know, they were like stubborn and maybe wouldn't let you in. They were they could have been like overly controlling in a sense, you know. But the Emperor also has his good sides. There are two sides to every coin, you know. So like the things that attracted to you this person was that they were fiery and ambitious and strong-minded and had a good handle on things, were like in control. But on the flip side, you know, maybe they were like too controlling, you know, things like that. Stubborn, hard-headed, and like so you healed from this. You have the star. You healed from this connection, and it wasn't easy, and it took a long time, right? You know, and like you've had to really like go deep into why, you know, into your emotions of like why all the feelings that you had for this person and this connection, this relationship. But you also had to keep one foot on the ground and stay grounded instead of getting like too up in your head about it. And you've grown strong. You're the Empress now. You're like seated in your power, but you still like think of this connection because you still feel like in some way that this is your other half, you know, or your, you know, soulmate. Like you felt like this is a bond that maybe you haven't ever had a bond so strong, but there was a lot of, you know, toxic energies about it. And it took you so long to heal. It's not like you can go back, but maybe it's you could be contemplating. With the moon, sometimes that talks about like a past love coming back. Like I definitely feel like there could be some letters, some conversation. You know, maybe now that you've gone through this healing, it's time to like lay down the rest of your feelings. Now that you're feeling stronger. Let's see here. Let's get into this. All right. So why is the moon here? Why is the moon here? Moon here. So I feel like you might do something because you're not afraid anymore. You're not like trapped by when I say trapped, like trapped by your ideas of like, oh, there's nothing I could do. I feel like, you know, you're out of this energy of fear, and you're in like you're creative and like you love yourself now. You know, self-love. This is self-love. This is self-care, and it's like you're a different person now. And this came in reverse, but it's like you've done your soul searching. You know, you've you know, gone into the recess of your mind and done your soul searching, to find out, you had to leave this situation behind because it just wasn't working for you, and you have love for this person, but and there was like an emotional connection and bond here, but you had to do what was best for you and leave this connection and create this change. But now the Knight of Swords is here, and there is like something that you want to say. You want to get it off your chest. There's something you want to get off your chest now that this healing is complete, and you've had time to rest and reflect after these battles. Very serious energy here. So, okay. Why is the Devil here? What was this? What happened in this connection? What happened in this connection? Oh, I feel like that's too early. What happened in this connection? It's like not, it's just so like literal. It's a heartbreak. It's like it really hurt you. There was a lot of pain on either side in this connection, and that's what it was. Like, you loved each other so much that it also hurt so much when it was over. What else about this toxic energy? You were willing to ignore these red flags and the things that you didn't like about this person or didn't want in your life. Like, you put up with it for a long time because of the love here. But so you had to it's about boundaries. You didn't put up your boundaries. Like, there was things that you disagreed with or that you didn't want to have, but you were kind of putting up with it because they felt like they were so much your match. And so, yeah, you put up with the situation a lot longer than you would have for somebody else. Anything else about this toxic connection? Anything else about this? Oh, yeah. And it was time. It was time to end. It was almost inevitable. You went through an ego death, and it changed parts of you that can't be unchanged. Maybe there were things said or done, that really changed who you are on the inside. Thinking about it, why did this happen? An ego death, this person made you feel small. All right. So what's this Emperor up to now? What is this Emperor up to now? The beginning of a new... they're rebuilding their foundation. It's the beginning of a new chapter in finances and stability. Perhaps there was some instability in their life. And the Hierophant upside down. So they're very non-traditional. They may have found non-traditional spirituality. And so they're beginning this, the Hierophant's the Pope, but I always think when it's in reverse, here it's finding spirituality, and here it could be finding a non-traditional spirituality. Either way, they're rebuilding their foundation at this time. What else about this person? Yeah, because they also lost everything when this connection came to a close. Yeah, and so they're taking action to change their life because now, they're more honorable, more spiritual. Perhaps there was some mental instability that they had to conquer in a way. And so they had to seek out, therapy and counseling and advisors, and learn about this. And so they are making slow progress. Maybe like this could be even something that I don't know what kind of, like, if your circles are small or you saw them on social media, and this could be what like triggered this reading, is that maybe you saw that they're changing for the better, and you kind of, and they're healing, and you're healing, you've healed, and they're healing, and it makes you want to reach out and like write some sort of a letter. All right, should this person reach out? Yes. Yeah, you're a strong, confident woman. You should reach out and speak your piece. It doesn't change the past, and it doesn't mean you're going to be together, but like it's time to speak your piece so that like both parties can get closure on this. There's a lot on your mind. There's a lot you want to say. Swords are all about information, perspective, communication. It's like you want to have, I mean, maybe it's not just a letter, you're going to call this person, but it's like you're ready to have like this open communication. Maybe there was a fear of it in the past because like your boundaries weren't in place, but like, now they are, and like, you're top of your game. You're ready for this. And what will result? What will happen? What is the best results of this conversation with this ex-love? Oh, a wish fulfillment. It couldn't go better. Perhaps this is just what you need to like move on and to resolve these regrets and this longing. Perhaps you realize it's like that's not what you were longing for all along. Maybe, but whatever this is, it's a wish fulfillment. It's emotional regulation. Like this is like the chance to have a really good conversation with this person. They're in a different mind frame now, mindset. You're getting the Two of Cups and also the Judgment in reverse. I mean, this really could be like, you guys now have such a strong respect for each other here, and you're able to say what you can say, emotionally regulated, and for some of you, there could be like a second chance here, honestly. I don't like people to go backwards in relationships, but it's not my relationship, it's yours, So there could be a second chance here. It comes in reverse, so it's like, I just feel that this person has like changed in some way, and they're coming out of like a really tough period, and so you're going to have this great conversation with them. It's time to communicate, and maybe, there will be some judgment, like letting each other know, like, things that happened and went wrong and why. Like, this is for somebody that did not have closure on something, and it could have been something, like, really long ago. It doesn't have to be, like, somebody new. This could be somebody from, like, the past, or a couple of years ago or something, and, like, now there's just so many changes here. And you still find that there's like a strong connection with this person, but now it comes with self-respect and like respect for each other. Yeah. All right. Anything else? This is pretty good for the, yeah, it's like a new chapter, and it's not going to feel as much work. Like, this new chapter on this, either that, or for those of you that are not reconnecting and just having a really good conversation with an ex-love who you always thought of, they continually, maybe you even compared everybody to them. But now this is your chance, whether you're like actually reconnect and do a second chance or not. It could also just like benefit like your new relationships. Now you're ready to move on. You're healed. You're not going to be looking back anymore, and relationships aren't going to feel like as much work, because like you don't have the same baggage. It's like you're receiving a lot of clarity. This is really beautiful. It's really beautiful. You know, I like that it's not going to feel like as much work. It's like you releasing this work. It's like been like work to carry this with you. This, you know, this constant longing and the regrets. You know, like that follows you. It feels, you know, it hurts. It's, you know. So yeah, this is beautiful. If you made it this far, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Excuse me, Odie.